Scrimshaw. This podcast is called Obsessed. Joseph Scrimshaw and his guest get some secrets off their chest. You should listen. It's the best.
Hello and welcome to Obsessed with Joseph Scrimshaw on Feral Audio. I am your host. I am still Joseph Scrimshaw. This week's episode is full of loud noises, sweat, fun, and Nathan Fillion references because it is all about San Diego Comic-Con. You'll hear mini interviews with all sorts of awesome people, including musician and writer Nicole Deeker, the hosts of fellow Feral Audio podcasts Corey and Courtney of We Should Have a Podcast, and my very own wife Sarah Scrimshaw, and many more. As always, you also hear our co-producer Sarah Meyer interviewing random human beings around Los Angeles and seeing how they feel about San Diego Comic-Con. Have they been there? Do they know what it is? Do they think SDCC is a communicable disease? Do they think it's a place where people dressed up as steampunk versions of their favorite Pokemon go to have orgies? We will find out. But first, I wanted to share some of my personal memories of San Diego Comic-Con. Like many people, when I first attended the convention, I assumed it was a celebration of all things geeky. Like it's gotta have a spaceship, a lightsaber, a cape. Basically, if Stan Lee doesn't have a cameo in it, you can get the fuck out. But I, like so many times, was wrong. It is a celebration of stereotypically nerdy genre entertainment for sure, but it is open to almost anything that people are willing to geek out about or companies are willing to pay for. When you go to Comic-Con, the streets of San Diego are covered in signs that say SDCC is celebrating the popular arts. And yes, they are. The very first year that I attended, I was kind of shocked to see a big presence by the television show NCIS Los Angeles. I thought that was weird. I was not aware of that happening in space or having any sort of time travel element. And then I just went about my convention, and I was on the upper level of the main convention floor, and I needed to urinate, as I so often do. I am often wrong in life, and I often need to urinate. And I went to use a bathroom, and I hadn't realized at the time that it is a bathroom kind of near where the celebrities might be entering their panels from the back entrance. And as I approached the bathroom, a very large security person stopped me and said, "No, you can't go in here." And I thought, oh, okay, that's weird. And I took a step back and thought about what bathroom I was going to find next. And then the security guard just stepped aside, and a large entourage of human beings burst forth from the bathroom. And in their center was the star of NCIS Los Angeles, LL Cool J. And as he emerged from the bathroom, he said to his entourage, "Damn, that was intense." And I have no idea what happened in that bathroom that was so intense, but I agree with Mr. Cool J that that is an accurate description of any experience you have at San Diego Comic-Con. It is an intense place. And over the years of going to the convention, I've embraced it for what it is. It is just a giant, weird party where everyone can have a totally different, totally intense experience, sometimes in a bathroom. As you'll hear on the podcast, the intense experience I personally long for at San Diego Comic-Con is seeing a person dressed as Batman eating a taco. Now, I tweeted that just as a joke many years ago that, hey, I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con. It'd be really cool if I saw Batman eating a taco. And I got a ton of responses saying, you will see that in seconds. Try not to see that. It has been years. I have never seen this. I have followed people dressed as Batman, hoping they will go to a taco stand only to see them saunter into subways like idiots. Many people have been kind enough to take posed photos of Batman eating a taco and send them to me, but I still long for the experience of seeing a Batman in the wild, cowl up, viciously devouring a big old hard-shell taco. And when I do see that, I will whisper to myself, "Damn, that was intense." But enough about me. Let's talk about me. If you enjoy Obsessed podcasts, you can support us by becoming a backer on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get access to our monthly patron-only bonus episodes of Obsessed. Full info is on patreon.com/Joseph Scrimshaw. Or you can support all of the artists on the Feral Audio Podcast Collective by shopping at Amazon through our portal. Just go to feralaudio.com, click the Support Our Artist button, and go buy anything on Amazon, and some of the money will go to supporting Feral Audio. It doesn't even matter what you buy on Amazon. This week, I'm recommending you buy NCIS Los Angeles Season 1 on DVD so you can celebrate the popular arts right in the comfort of your own home. Shows! I do shows! I've got a couple of stand-up shows coming up here in Los Angeles, and the next edition of my comedy game show about pop culture with Hal Lublin called Headcanon is happening Friday, August 5th at Nerdmelt with special guests Travis McElroy, Clark Wolf, and Mark Ellis. Plus, I will be a guest at DragonCon convention over Labor Day weekend, and I'll be back in Minnesota in September for a new convention called the North Star Sci Film Fest. For tickets and full info on all my shows, go to josephscrimshaw.com/live-shows. But for now, sit back, relax, cosplay Arthur Dent by throwing on a bathrobe, and enjoy multiple awesome people's obsession with San Diego Comic-Con. Hello, can you tell me what your name is?
Julia.
Julia. And how many years have you been coming to San Diego Comic-Con?
This is my second time. The last time was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. And what do you think is the best part of it for you?
It's overwhelming. It's there's so much fun stuff to look at.
That's
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion. There's so much fun stuff to look at.
And
Nathan
Fillion
is the best thing to look at?
Yeah, today, it's been great.
For sure. So what is the worst part of the experience for you?
I just spent 3.5 hours in a line for a panel I didn't get into.
What was the panel? Was it Look at Nathan Fillion?
I got into that one. No, we tried to get into Rick and Morty.
Okay.
And that was impossible, so then I stuck around for another hour for Samurai Jack.
Okay.
And gave up.
Okay. So it's sometimes overwhelming, and then sometimes you don't even get to do the thing that overwhelmed you to begin with.
The things that you get to do are fun, and the things you miss out are a bummer.
Yeah. Have you ever, this is a weird question, it's kind of personal for me.
Okay.
Have you ever seen someone dressed as Batman eating a taco?
I've seen your posts about how you want to see Batman. No, I have not seen Batman eating a taco, or anyone eating a taco, honestly.
It's strange. There should be more taco eating, right?
You would think. It's very portable.
Is there anyone in costume that you would like to see eating something in particular?
I just want to see lots of Venture Brothers.
You want to see Venture Brothers and you don't care
what they're eating? No, I guess not.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that hadn't crossed my mind.
This is my final question for you.
Okay.
Would you go to a panel that was just called It's a Trap?
Probably yes.
Just to find out what it is?
Just to find out what it is. Why not? I just imagine it's Akbar just going, you know?
You would assume it's just
a whole hour of him dancing on stage, and I'm down with that.
Just dancing Akbar.
I'm down with that.
So what is your name?
Bill Lublin.
Bill Lublin. We know each other, to be fair.
Yes, we do.
You are the father of Hal Lublin?
That is what we have told him all his life.
You look very much like each other, so it would be an impressive lie if you were not his father.
Thank you.
You
Plastic surgery does wonders. Yeah, it really,
in order to lie about
does.
Hal being your son.
Yes. But it was worth it to have him as my son.
Yeah, he's great. If I needed to get plastic surgery to stay Hal's friend, I'd do it.
Yeah, totally. Why not?
Because Hal needs all of his friends to look exactly like him, right?
No question. And elective surgery is such a wonderful thing. We are, after all, in California.
Exactly. The home of elective surgery.
Absolutely.
How many years have you been coming to Comic-Con?
This is my 4th Comic-Con.
Okay. And what's the best part of it to you?
Other people. Seeing you, seeing the lovely Sarah Scrimshaw.
Yeah,
who I got to spend the evening with last night. That was very nice.
You spent the evening with? Oh, okay. Hanging out backstage.
Hanging out backstage at Woodstock. Okay. Not in an inappropriate or otherwise reportable manner, but no, it was very lovely.
Well, good.
Watching her work her magic.
Yeah, she's a stage manager, so she was just taking care of business, dressed in black, like a ninja.
Absolutely, and everything went off flawlessly.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful show.
She's pretty amazing at her job.
I know that now. I would not have known that day before yesterday.
So if I had asked you, is my wife amazing at her job, you'd have been like, I don't know.
No, actually, I probably would have said yes, because it's your wife. And what can I say? But now I can say with conviction and experience, she's amazing at it. She came and got Rebecca Watson and took her upstairs after the break, made her go right on time, and Rebecca rocked the room.
That's
wonderful.
Awesome. That's awesome.
It was.
What is your least favorite thing about Comic-Con? Now, I know you to be a pretty positive person, so I'm interested in the negatives.
The fact that people that come to Comic-Con seem not to have taken remedial walking.
I agree with that.
You know, there's
very
a lot
much.
of people drifting to the left, drifting to the right. They have backpacks. They're unaware of the space they're taking up.
Yeah.
And a lot of people with long poles.
There are a lot of long poles.
Yeah, so you gotta watch for them.
There's a lot of sudden stopping.
Yeah.
Just to contemplate one's existence, it seems like.
Yeah, well, and sometimes, and I did this morning have the quick U-turn, which was sort of the abrupt and unexpected U-turn, as if the guy in front of me had just remembered that he left the gas, electricity, and water on in the place he was staying just seconds ago.
And he had to turn around immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
Sadly, he was smaller than I was, and he sort of bounced off my chest. But it was an experience.
Yeah. My favorite this year has been that they have the huge The Walking Dead display.
Yeah,
And they've got a little corral of zombies. And I was
I
trapped
didn't
in
realize
front
that
of
was
it.
a display.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually, I thought the zombie apocalypse had arrived.
That's what it felt like to me, because I was more trapped than the zombies.
Yeah, I
Zombies
understand.
had more space to roam than I did as a human being.
I totally understand. And right across the way is Designated Survivor, which made me think that like there was a zombie apocalypse and they thought one person should be left and that person was going to live in the White House. But it turns out it's a TV show and that's not what it is.
It does say Kiefer Sutherland is the designated survivor.
Right.
As though they plan to kill everyone on Earth but Kiefer Sutherland.
Pretty much. But it was actually. So I had two Comic-Con experiences yesterday that were a little weird.
Okay.
One was I stood in line because I wanted to know what Designated Survivor was.
Oh, okay.
And that was like a half hour of my life I can't get back. The other was that I'm walking past a place and there's a very small line, and I said, Warner Brothers, and
Okay.
I said to the lady who was standing there, "What's the line for?" She said, "Free stuff." And I wandered in with no desire to really have anything, but it was free stuff and it was a small line at Comic-Con, so I figured I had to do it.
Yeah. And did you get anything out of it?
I got 4 copies of the same magazine with 4 different covers, in Entertainment Weekly, one of which had Supergirl on it, so a beautiful blonde in tights. There's nothing wrong with that. And I got a set of decals from Blind Spot.
Okay.
So it wasn't, it was sort of like, fine.
Yeah,
but
you
it
got
was,
some stuff to burn at some point.
Yeah, pretty much. I did have some woman put buttons in my hand yesterday that went right into the trash when I was 10 feet farther, but...
They were just with you for a short time on their journey to the garbage.
I didn't understand why I had them. I didn't understand the point of the buttons, but I knew that I could get rid of them just by going like that, and I did.
If you could get any free thing, if somebody walked up to you with your dream free thing and said, hey, you're at Comic-Con, so you get X, what would your dream thing be?
Nathan Fillion's career.
This is the Nathan Fillion podcast.
Right, I think that would be. Although I heard Nathan's name get mentioned, and I really like Nathan. He's
pretty
guy.
awesome. He's a good guy.
Yeah, but I would love to have his career to be handsome, admired, make a couple of bucks, and just nerd out all day and enjoy myself.
Now, in this scenario, would you take it from him so he would be nothing now?
Oh, no. I like Nathan. I've met Nathan. He's a wonderful person. I would want to be the other guy. When they don't call Nathan, they would call the other guy. That would be me. So I would get, instead of Firefly, perhaps, I don't know, a TV show called Cockroach or, Centipede, something like that, like a knockoff for Canadian TV.
Well, I would watch Bill Lublin in Canadian Centipede for sure.
I think it would be awesome. And as stage manager, I would have Sarah come because she runs a tight ship.
So your name is Nicole Deeger, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
So we are not at Comic-Con right now. We are just near Comic-Con.
I think we're about 1.5 miles away from Comic-Con.
You are a very precise person. One of the things I like about you. So you come near Comic-Con, but you don't always actually go into the hall itself, right?
This is correct.
So why do you make that choice?
Well, I've been to a lot of conventions. I've been going to conventions for years and years and years and years. And I found it took me about 4 years of going to conventions to realize that the best stuff doesn't actually happen at the convention. It happens in the bars, it happens in hotel rooms, it happens when you're hanging out with your friends, and you know what? I do not need to pay $60 bajillion. I don't even know how much it costs anymore. I used to pay, $50 to go to the convention and then not go to the convention. That is why I did not buy a pass for Comic-Con this year.
So you get a full experience doing just all the little satellite things.
Exactly.
Do you ever just go kind of near the convention to look at costumes?
We did last year, and it was really hot and really miserable, and we lasted for about 2 blocks, and then we went and got drinks.
Excellent. So drinks are a huge part of any convention experience, right?
If drinking is your thing, then drinking can be a huge part of your convention experience.
Is it for you personally?
Yes. I am, I can do about 3 drinks per day, so it's not like a huge in comparison to some people, but, a beverage for breakfast, a beverage for lunch, and a sensible dinner. It's how we should do this.
So you have a nice, balanced drinking diet. That is
Absolutely.
wonderful. Do you like seeing cosplay, or is that not a thing that is exciting to you?
I mean, cosplay, if there's some really extraordinary cosplay, it is fun to look at that and say, that is really lovely. And beyond that, I've seen a lot of it.
Yes. So you make things yourself.
I make words.
But you're crafty, right?
No, not at all. I know that Molly Lewis wrote a song about me being crafty, and that is not completely true.
But then you went and made the props for the song, right?
I stuck a pair of eyeballs on a can of beans.
Crafty. Super crafty. Eyes on a can of beans? I can't.
Fair enough.
I could not do that.
All right, I'm, maybe 10% crafty, but...
But you are a person who, once you set your mind to doing something, you will teach yourself a whole new set of skills and do such a thing.
That is true.
I'm kind of being lawyer-like. I'm leading to the question
You're
I want to
lead
ask.
Me. Okay, so ask me, what do you
so
want to
I'm
ask?
curious, is there any cosplay that you would ever do? If you made it yourself, or if you hired somebody else to make it for you?
Oh, I've done cosplay. I mean, you could have just asked me that question. I have definitely done cosplay. I have done cosplay that is primarily based on clothing that I can purchase and then tear holes in. So I went as River Tam.
Nice.
I've gone as Ramona Flowers. I went as Homestar Runner one year. But these are all things that I can go to Target and then, add, basically stick a googly eyes on a can of beans. That's my cosplay.
You're a can of beans cosplay person. That's fair. Was it fulfilling? Did you feel like you were a different person? Did you enjoy any extra attention of people wanting to take photos with you, or did it just seem like, I did all this work of ripping holes in costumes and now it's just interfering with my drinking?
No, I actually enjoyed it very much because you feel like you're a part of something. You feel like you're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, which makes it a little special.
Yeah. Now, if you got a pass to Comic-Con, if somebody just gave you one,
yes,
and you saw that there was a panel called Eyes on a Can of Beans, would you go to it? Or would you be just disturbed of, what is that?
No, I would very much go. There were panels this year that I thought very much about scamming to get my way in. Finding someone who'd loan me a badge for a couple hours. And the problem is, of course, that I'm already booked. I'm already doing other shows. I'm already committed to meeting up with people at certain times, And especially once you get into the sort of performer side of the convention, the amount of time you have to go to the panels shrinks dramatically.
Yeah.
But if someone gave me a badge and a weekend with nothing else going on, of course I'd stand and run for a panel.
So my final question is, have you ever seen Batman eating a taco?
No, I don't believe so. I have not been watching for it the way you have, though.
Is there any character that you would like to see eating a specific thing in your fandoms?
Well, I suppose Deadpool eating anything.
Like a horse?
Well, because it doesn't have a mouth hole.
Oh, right. So just Deadpool mashing food.
Ice cream, maybe? Mashing ice cream through the mesh.
Okay. Deadpool forcing ice cream through his mask knot hole. That's a great answer. So, can you guys tell me your names?
I'm Corey Podell.
I'm Courtney Peroso.
And this is your first time at Comic-Con?
It's our first time at Comic-Con. We're here with Feral Audio because we have a podcast on the network, but we're not familiar with any of these worlds at all, and it's all just blowing our mind over and over and over again.
When you see people in costume, do you try to guess who they are and what story they're from?
We know some of the things.
Yeah.
Right.
Corey loves Mad Max.
Okay.
So that's her thing.
Yeah, so I was tracking down War Boys and forcing them to take pictures with me. But there are a lot that I just don't know. I know that's something, but
Okay.
I don't know what it is. But also, I don't even care. It's some of the costumes are so well done and elaborate that I'm just whatever it is, I'm on board.
Yeah,
It's great.
I was thrilled to see some 4 guys being the Golden Girls.
Are you kidding me?
Yep. Fandom can be anything. It's so beautiful.
Well, we might dress up as something tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Tell
Can
him.
you?
We might both dress up as Marsha Clark, the district attorney from the O.J. Simpson case.
We brought costumes. We weren't sure how it would land / play.
I just like ladies. Like when I saw Sarah Paulson in the show, I was like, that's cool. Like she has bad hair and she's like smoking a cigarette. She's yelling at her kids and she's got so much shit going on in her life. And she's
And Courtney's mentioned this. Like at the time, people really body shamed her and were so mean to her. And she didn't know who O.J. Simpson was. She wasn't out to get him. She was just doing her job.
Really
like a lawyer woman would. And anyway, we're fans of hers, so we thought, why not?
Yeah, you should share your
cosplay?
fandom. I think that you guys should both be Marsha Clark and then walk in lockstep so you look like the girls from The Shining as Marsha Clark.
Yes.
Perfect
I like that.
cosplay.
We did bring briefcases.
We had so much shit because we brought these weird costumes and I didn't know what I was going to do in the show tonight. And so yesterday, our first experience at Comic-Con is like, we just like had 18 suitcases and we were like trying to like move it around.
And we were like, this was not smart.
It's so much better.
Yeah, so today's way better. We dropped our stuff off. But
Everyone is so nice that we're talking to. And that's like it seems like so positive, like the culture here or whatever.
Yeah, and people just like are friendly. Like you can go up to anyone and be like, hey, can I talk to you? Or hey, I like your costume. What is it? And people are just open. I don't know. Maybe we're just jaded or have like something about living in Hollywood a while or whatever. But it's refreshing. Is the word.
I mean, there's so much congestion and there's so much stress to get to things. You would think that people would be more stressed out.
Yeah, or moody or rude, but they're not.
But nope. If you could see your war boys eating any random food here at Comic-Con, what would you like to see them eat?
Spaghetti and meatballs.
The little orange stains are on their white faces.
Yeah, but they would dab it with napkins. They'd be sophisticated
No,
about
I
it.
want to see the
don't
War
know.
Boys with spaghetti all over their face.
Yeah, all over their white bodies.
Right, just eating with their hands, just savage-like?
Well, we saw one guy, he was a war boy, and he was with his son dressed as Mad Max.
Oh.
And he had him literally like on a chain, like a leash, like a kid leash. It was brilliant. And so we actually met a lot of father-sons or families.
Okay.
People who brought their kids. And like, I guess wrongly of me, I pictured this being just like a ton of white dudes.
Right.
Who are in their 30s and 40s or something.
Yeah.
Like, I just did not picture it being a family thing.
Right.
Or being as diverse as it is, or having as many women as it does.
Yeah.
So that's really the thing that's striking me the most, is the, like, the diversity of people, and even, like, what they like Golden Girls and shit. It's, like, great.
Yeah, there's the stereotype of the sort of older dude with the beard, with the black t-shirt that is pressing against his gut and his soul, and you don't see that as much. You have to work harder to see that stereotype.
Yeah, I bought into the stereotype, and it's totally, I was wrong.
Any negatives at all? We've had a very positive interview. Has there been anything negative in your experience?
Yeah, I know.
Listen, it's really crowded. I don't do great in crowds, but because everyone's so cool, I like it. I'm a little nervous for tomorrow because I heard Saturday it's like you can't even get through. So, and also just like, I mean, this has nothing to do with Comic-Con. The heat outside is really, I mean, I was like really at a low point, but then coming in here, it really brought me up more.
Awesome.
I mean, I maybe the low point is like me having to like face my lack of like passion
It is really
think about
yeah,
the way
it's
I've been
teaching
living my life.
It's teaching us about ourselves, because we're going like, well, what are we passionate about? Like, what would we care enough about to dress up as and travel somewhere?
Yeah.
Like if Feral Audio wasn't putting us up and stuff,
well, yeah,
we wouldn't have come. So
Marsha Clark?
I mean,
what you're
it's
discovering?
a start. Yeah.
It's something. I don't know why that popped into my brain. Anyway, I think it's mostly positive.
Cool.
I was like a little judgy at first, I think. I was like, nerds, like, or whatever. And now I'm like, no, I love it. I want to be this. So.
Yeah. I'm envious of people with such strong passions about things.
I think that should be their new slogan. It should be San Diego Comic-Con Nerds or whatever.
Nerds or whatever, yeah.
It's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
It's totally
Nerds
what it is.
Or whatever.
It's cool.
Yeah, and someone made a good point to us that, like, people nerd out about anything. It's not just this stuff. It's like my dad nerds out about the Dolphins football team.
Yeah.
He does cosplay when he puts on a jersey.
Exactly.
And goes there. It's
My
like,
dad nerds out about books about marketing, I guess.
yeah, it's like everyone has their geekdom.
Yeah.
And it's just like looks a little bit different.
I am now now not on the floor of Comic-Con. I am back home in Los Angeles, but I'm sitting here with my friend Jennifer Landa, who goes to San Diego Comic-Con all the time, was there this year. We both retreated from San Diego Comic-Con early, not out of not enjoying it, but just out of needing to be back here in LA. But I'm going to ask Jennifer a couple questions about San Diego Comic-Con. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for having me. I feel like, yeah, we definitely have gotten away from the madness, and that's a good thing.
So, how many years have you been going to San Diego Comic-Con?
Since I believe 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was my first time.
And what is your favorite thing about it?
I love the cosplayers. I love seeing people or meeting people for the first time that I know online and then getting to see them in person. That's a blast because you have this automatic shorthand where you're like, hey, I know you. So great to see you finally.
Do you find people, do you organize that, or do you sometimes just literally see a human and you're like, I know your face from a little square, but there's the rest of your body. I'll go talk to all of you.
Yeah, no, it's literally, I've seen someone and I only know them by their Twitter handle, but I recognize them from their avatars, and so, or if I see someone, that's like a semi-celebrity, that's just very exciting.
Yeah. I met a friend from social media, and we have a lot of friends in real life, and I almost said, hey, at so-and-so. Like, God damn it. I've truly become polluted. Yeah. Is there a negative part of Comic-Con to you, or is it pretty much all joy? Or is the heat and the volume of crowds?
It is that this year for me, the heat was almost unbearable. And even though it was cool inside the convention center, there were so many people that it kind of, the body heat blanketed certain areas.
Yeah.
Sometimes, there was a huge crowd of people with their cell phones up, cheering. I had no idea what they were looking at or who it was, but I could not get through, which that was kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
But I think overall, it's just one weekend of that, and there's something kind of fun that we're all in this together. But I hope the apocalypse does not happen at this time.
Yeah.
That would be very challenging to get out of there.
And you knowingly went into a dense area to buy Star Wars socks.
I did, and I kind of got trapped there.
Yeah.
I did.
But now you'll remember that every time you wear those socks, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're like victory socks.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's something kind of gratifying about being able to gone through waged some sort of battle to get these Jabba the Hutt Slave Leia socks. And it also is a testament to Star Wars, how much people love Star Wars, that they just wanted to hang out there and really not move. That's okay.
It's the dark side of Star Wars. I just want to look at Star Wars and never engage in anything else. I won't move.
Right. Yeah.
The dark side of fandom. Now, you literally, the general you, if you're at Comic-Con, you physically bump into people. It's impossible not to.
Mm-hmm.
If you could physically bump into any famous person or an actor, who would you want to physically bump into at Comic-Con?
Mark Hamill.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen him, speak at panels before, but I just imagine if I literally bumped into him, he would have some sort of awesome and charming response.
Yes.
And we would have a moment. Oh my gosh, I get it. I'm just getting so thrilled thinking about this. Maybe someday it will actually happen. And that's the beauty about Comic-Con. You can have these kind of once-in-a-lifetime experiences of seeing your heroes up close and personal, sometimes even the bathroom.
Yeah.
As I've heard. I can't even imagine what that experience is like.
Oh, I would love to see Mark Hamill in the bathroom.
We won't take that out of the context. But yeah, anything can happen. And I think that's kind of the magic of Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Where you go there with all these hopes and dreams of, maybe I will get into that Entertainment Weekly party. When it doesn't happen, it's okay. You tried. But yeah, I love that. And who knows what will happen next year.
Yeah, and it's those small moments that are really gratifying, because sometimes the big exciting things that look super exciting on social media of hey, I'm in this thing. There's sometimes just really, some of the exclusive parties are sometimes just, have you ever heard very, very loud music and seen drunk people dance? Congratulations, you've been to an exclusive San Diego Comic-Con party.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Oftentimes, you would think, if it's something specific that they would have a theme. No, it's just the same old club with thumping music.
Yeah, and sometimes it's an amazing thing of there's Mark Hamill dancing.
Right. Oh my gosh, I just want to meet him.
I know, that was the best answer ever. I've been asking a couple people that question, and I haven't thought of my own answer, and I'm going to steal yours because it's perfect, because he is probably the famous person that I would most like to meet in person in real life. And he is so charming. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't care that you bumped into him, and he would, in fact, probably have an anecdote prepared, because he is such a warrior of conventions where he has an anecdote for everything. Right. So he probably has a funny thing that he says that he's got in his back pocket.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And he would probably chat with you for a little bit of time, which, he's so great with the fans. He wouldn't rush off, or maybe he would have a handler next to him. But yeah, I just think it'd be an awesome experience.
Would you go to a panel that was just called It's a Trap?
Absolutely. Because the mysteriousness of it. And I think it would also, some fans may not go because they're like, oh, they may not think about it, or they're like, nothing's going to be revealed there, but I would be there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would camp out. Have you ever camped out before?
No.
Do you ever want to?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no, judgment toward it. It's just not how I enjoy experiencing the convention. The convention can be, I think this is true of all conventions, but because San Diego is magnified larger than everything, it's more true there that it can be entirely different experiences for different people, and that's just not that important to me.
I agree. I'm okay with not camping out. I feel like I'm a little bit too old for that. Last year, 2 years ago, we got into the Marvel panel. Some people were just...
In Hall H?
Yes, in Hall H. These two guys came out and they're like, hey, do you want our wristbands for Hall H? We're like, they're like, no, just take it. So we walked right in.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. I'm like, okay, this is a way to experience it. So if somebody were just to give me a wristband, Hall H, absolutely. But I'm not going to camp out on the sidewalk. Even for Star Wars, I don't know if I could do it.
Is it the commitment of time? Is it feeling sort of exposed to do this weird urban camping and just be outside on the sidewalk? Is it?
Yeah, it's comfort.
Okay.
You get to a certain age and you just want to be comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you walk past that line and you see the people camping out, God bless them, and you, like a cop who's about to retire, just say to yourself, I'm too old for this shit.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, maybe if I was 18 or 19, I totally would do it.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe my daughter will someday too. And maybe I'll do it with her.
Oh, yeah.
That would be fun.
Right. So if something meant, when she's a teen or a tween and something meant that much to her, you'd be like, all right.
Absolutely.
I'll camp out for this.
Yeah, then it's a real special thing. But if it's just my husband and I camping out, we're both going to be grumbling and hungry, and it's not going to be fun.
Speaking of hunger, I have an obsession to see Batman eating a taco.
Really?
At San Diego Comic-Con. This year, one of the first things I did when I went to the floor is I went to the little cafeteria area.
Oh.
No, in there, I didn't even see a single Batman eating, much less eating a taco.
Really?
I just saw a Riddler eating some fries, and that was as close as I got.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So I would love to see that someday. So I'm asking other people, is there any character from any fiction that you love that you would like to see eating a specific thing?
Oh, man. I actually saw Batman walking and talking on his cell phone. That was kind of funny.
Was he having a fight?
It was almost more of a casual conversation, which was kind of funnier. It's just I'm trying to think of just something that would be out of, Kylo Ren. And maybe trying to eat something difficult where it's like like a wrap. Wraps are really difficult to eat, and it's falling apart, and he's
getting angry, right?
Yeah, he has to take off his gloves. Things are just getting awkward. Maybe he doesn't want to take off his helmet, so he's just kind of shoving up the wrap up in there, trying to feed himself. It's just an awkward thing.
And there's a Huck standing next to him, just sort of shaking his head in disgust.
Yes.
Kylo has failed again.
I love that.
That is so great. My favorite phone conversation that I saw is a very cranky Obi-Wan Kenobi clearly fighting with his partner about who is supposed to have ordered the pizza. So it was just Obi-Wan Kenobi losing his damn mind over Papa John's. It's like, that's the beauty of Comic-Con, the mashup of the wonderful and the fantastic of great Obi-Wan Kenobi costume. But you're on a flip phone screaming about Papa John's.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I did see a mother getting upset at her BB-8 child. The poor child, he was probably 10 months, maybe 1, and he was just being a typical, baby. And she was like, oh, you're just really upsetting me. And there he is in the BB-8 costume. I just thought that was funny, but also sad at the same time.
Yeah. It happens.
It
Those
happens.
mashups of worlds. In general, a lot of people talk to me about having a really positive vibe this year, that there was even more of that. We were all just here to celebrate these weird things that we like.
Yeah.
And so there's that many thousands of people together. There's going to be those awkward human moments. But it's cool that it seemed like there's more of a vibe of celebration.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely saw a lot more mashups of
Yeah.
costumes. I saw a Bubba Fett who was wearing overalls and had a trucker hat on. He gave me a bottle opener.
Okay.
I took his some video of him, and he's like, here you go. Here's a bottle opener.
Was it branded, or was it just like a rusted old bottle opener from Boba Fett?
It was just a plastic bottle opener. No, nothing Boba Fettish about it. But I took it. It was
Nice.
good to have. I think I've mentioned to you before, I saw Star-Lord, Boba Fett. There were a lot of Boba Fetts.
Yeah.
I think because it's easy to get the helmet, and then it's kind of fun. How am I going to put the twist on it?
Yeah, to be a very special Boba Fett.
Yeah, so I saw a lot of those combinations. Did you see anything in particular that tickled your fancy?
I think I saw a couple Star Wars things that I really liked, but I think the thing that tickled my fancy the most was 4 guys dressed as the Golden Girls, and they had, I can't remember what kind of a device, maybe just an iPad that played the theme. So they would stop for photos and play the theme and pose for it. And as I was walking by, I looked back and I smiled and I caught, I think, Sophia's eye, the guy playing Sophia. And there was just such glee, kind of devious glee in that person's eyes and I smiled at them and they smiled back, and it was lovely. And it's also, we pay lip service to like any fandom, and like Golden Girls obviously has a huge, weird, dedicated fandom, but it's not like a genre sci-fi property. But the fact that people are there being like, fuck it, we're the Golden Girls, and everybody else is like, yeah, cool.
I love that. I'm so sad I did not see that cosplay. But I mean, that's the great thing, is that you go and you're not going to see everything. But of course, people are sharing photos and things like that. Yeah, it did feel like more of a celebration.
Yeah.
Just anything goes. I can't think of anything more specifically, but I do remember kind of smiling a lot, like, oh, that's clever. Oh, that's not really anything related to what's going on here, but it's fun. It's fun.
You do you, whoever you are.
Yeah.
You do you, Boba Fett.
Sure.
Here's my final question for you.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're not a swearing person.
Nah.
So, if somebody said you can have a lifelong pass to San Diego Comic-Con, but you just have to say a swear word to me, would you say a swear word for a lifetime pass?
Well, I'm a professional, so I mean, I get a pass. That's my out. That's my out. Oh man, what a weasel I am. No, but yeah, no, getting a professional badge is certainly not easy. There's
some hoops to jump through.
Yeah, tell me about it. So, yeah, I would. I'd have to think about. Do I have to say the swear word?
Yeah, you just have to say the swear word once to a person, and then you get the lifetime badge. You don't even have to renew like you have to do with the pro badge.
Oh, well then yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you can say any word you want.
So what word would it be?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to share.
Oh, sure. Well, I guess probably shit. Right? Because it's I mean, most people go with fuck because that has a lot of different connotations, but I think shit is probably what I would say the most often in my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Now what I say is, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. But I just want to replace it.
Ah, shit. Have you heard of Comic-Con?
Yes, I have. Well, from my understanding right now, it's kind of like a fashion show, girly kind of thing now.
Comic-Con. I have heard of it. I think they have really big meetups in major cities and people dress up like their favorite comic hero or demon.
Yes, I have, but I don't know much about it. I think now it's like more mainstream too, like movies and this kind of thing, right?
If you were gonna cosplay, who would you dress up as?
You know, I'm not really into comics, but I would really like to be that blue woman from X-Men. What is her name? Mystique, yeah. And Jennifer Lawrence now plays her, I think, in the movie. So yeah, and like I want to paint my body blue. That would be awesome.
If I was gonna do cosplay, I don't know, Superman. I don't know.
Come on, dig deeper.
Into my head, Frank Underwood, because he's extremely powerful and like rules the world.
Yeah. So what would your outfit look like?
I don't know, nice suit, the comb over, a nice blue tie I think he wears, yeah.
And that ring, that creepy ring.
Yes, and definitely the ring and tap on tables everywhere.
Would you then dress up as Robin Wright?
I would love to dress up as Robin Wright. As Claire, her wardrobe is spectacular. I love all of her power suits. Oh yeah. And if I could pull off that hair, that short cut. Also, she has a comb over, so we could do our comb overs together in the morning.
Super 8. It's a Spanish comic cartoon. Yeah, Super 8 is so fun, yeah.
What costume would you wear?
Well, he has like a swimsuit, a red ones, and he has a t-shirt, a blue t-shirt, with a little bit capa, a cape.
Super Cat. He's my superhero. He's not like a comic book hero, but if I were to have one, it's Super Cat. He's a Batman. Yeah, you say Batman in a good way. They call him the Apache. You know, I mess with him. Every time he walked, there's like some kind of dance hall behind him, dance hall theme song. And he come in, he rob from the rich, give to the poor. Be like Robin Hood, you know? Robin Hood, yeah.
So if you could literally bump into any celebrity, who would you want to bump into?
Angelina Jolie, yeah. She has beautiful lips.
What would you say to her?
Hello. Oh, wagwan.
Maybe the blue girl in the X-Men's. Mystique. Yeah, exactly.
You would want to bump into Jennifer Lawrence?
Exactly.
What would you say to her?
Well, Mystique, please, save the war.
Hello. You are my wife, right?
I am, last time I checked, which, yep, still got my ring on, still am me.
Yep.
I'm your wife.
You're still my wife.
Hey.
Your name is Sarah Scrimshaw.
Sure is.
We are not at Comic-Con. I did a lot of these interviews on the floor. This one is obviously in our home.
It is.
Not on the floor. We are sitting in chairs like humans, not savages.
We can pretend it's still Comic-Con.
Yeah. How would we do that? We're very sweaty, so that
We're
works.
sweaty. We could pretend there's posters on the walls. We could pretend there's some strangers walking through our apartment.
Okay.
In various cosplay.
Right. Nathan Fillion is near us.
Probably.
You know, yeah.
Always.
He might be in our bedroom right now.
He might be.
Just
he might
like
be
Comic-Con.
just hanging out on our balcony. Because, why not?
You never know. Or Shatner. Who knows? Or a million other wonderful people.
Yep.
The cast of Game of Thrones. All of them. In our bedroom.
I might be scared. Just a little bit.
What do you think is the best thing about the San Diego Comic-Con experience?
The best thing, I love how excited people are.
Okay.
I realize that a lot of people go for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
And I realize that many people, it's working, whatever, networking, but I still feel like at its core, when people aren't being overwhelmed by all of the other people or all of the sweat and trying to cross the street and those frustrations, I feel like there's such excitement and love of the thing that they're celebrating, the popular culture, whatever the individual fandom is.
Yeah.
And I love feeling that excitement or seeing that excitement.
Cool. And you share in that excitement, right?
I do.
There are things that you get excited to see.
Absolutely. I do. Let me know, really. Hi.
You have a kind of unique experience of San Diego Comic-Con. We've been going for many years.
Yes.
To do performance-y stuff or to meet and greet and that, and then you got I almost said roped into. I performed at Woodstock, which for listeners who are maybe not familiar with Woodstock, it's a big variety show that's put on every Thursday night of San Diego Comic-Con. That's put on by Paul and Storm, Will Wheaton, and Adam Savage, and I performed there, and then you became the stage manager of Woodstock, and you stage manage it every year.
Stage manage, yep, I wrangle.
Yeah, so you wrangle all of the various cool performers and actor-type people and all of that who come through and perform at Woodstock.
I do.
So what is your favorite part of that experience?
I enjoy it's a fun way to, I'm so used to, this is my maybe 4th year that I just finished of doing that, stage managing, we'll say. It's such a fun event. I enjoy seeing who the new people will be that year, seeing some of the repeat people. There's a big party element to it backstage, not like big crazy woohoo, but just kind of I mean, there's a little bit of that, but just it's a lot of friends. I feel like it's like family reunion. It's a friend reunion, and I love that part of it. And I love the Balboa Theater, which is where it's held. I really just kind of architecturally, it's a beautiful theater inside the house, which I particularly noticed this year. I think because we've gone to some other like cool theaters in Los Angeles, that I was like, wow, I've never really paid attention to the light fixtures in here before. And this was when I was waiting for soundcheck to start, so I had time. I wasn't ignoring the show. But we've got a really good rapport with the crew there and the working staff there as well, the production staff. So that's cool. And then it's always like, okay, well, is there going to be somebody fun? One year they started with having the opening number interrupted by George R. R. Martin.
Yeah.
And he came upstairs backstage to where I was, and we were kind of talking through what he was going to do, and I think he just wanted to make sure he didn't miss his cue, and he turned to me and said, let me know. I said, yep, I'll let you know. He's like, no, push me. So my job was, at his request, to lightly nudge him, but to give him a tap, and like kind of a forward tap, because I wasn't going to push him and make him fall, onto the stage to go smash a guitar.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So when we are watching Game of Thrones and something happens that we don't like, do you ever wish that you had pushed him harder?
I've never thought of it. Wow. No.
I think of it often.
Okay.
Not that I think you should be pushed harder, but just the amount of people who are, so frustrated by things that happen in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, no.
To know that you had the opportunity
to push harder.
But he was he was so nice and friendly,
nice,
right?
Super nice and friendly. And the other thing with him is we needed to get a picture. So there is a bit that they had done for a few years in a row where there was a guitar smash at the beginning.
Yeah.
And he smashed the guitar because Paul and Storm have the song that they sing that starts George R. R. Martin, please write and write faster. And it's kind of...
Write Like the Wind.
Write Like the Wind, I think is the title. And so he smashed the guitar, and he had to get to another event, but they really wanted to get a picture of him with the pieces of the guitar.
Right.
But Paul and Storm were still on stage because they had to finish their set. And so I needed to stay backstage, but it was also one of those moments where I thought, well, I can't keep George R. R. Martin waiting. He has to get to the next thing.
He's kept us waiting,
but I didn't want to keep him waiting. I don't want to show up in the book and then be killed. So I had to run downstairs and take the photos of him with the smashed guitar. So that's pretty cool too. So then all the photos that went out of that are the ones that I took.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, backstage photographer occasionally.
Yeah. So that's your kind of unique perspective of Comic-Con. I think it's cool that so many people have so many different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody milling around Comic-Con, if it's in the convention hall or very near to it, there's always a possibility that you're literally going to bump into a famous person.
Uh-huh.
So you bumped into George R. R. Martin with your hand
on
his request. If there is a famous person that you could literally run into, who would you want to run into?
Well, my initial reaction to this is Melissa Benoist, I believe.
Oh.
I'm not sure exactly how you say her last name.
You mean Supergirl?
Supergirl. I don't know why she was the first one that came to my mind, but once I tried to decide why, I decided that it would be fun to help her keep her character of Kara, of kind of the slightly bumbling, is she going to spill the coffee? So, of course she'd be the one who would run into somebody. That makes no sense for the actor as opposed to the character, but that's who came to my head first.
But in terms of marrying reality with the fiction that they play, you would like to help her disguise from the world that she is Supergirl by knocking, a hamburger out of her hand.
No, that's mean. I don't want to take away your food, but just like a gentle bump. I think maybe I relate to that because that kind of accidentally bumping into somebody would be the type of thing that I would do totally naturally. And so it felt like the natural response would be to do it to somebody else who would possibly also do that totally naturally.
Right. And she does have practice as an actor because she gets bumped into a lot or bumps into things as a part of her character. She has experience. She'd be able to handle it well.
Yeah. Yeah. The one person I came closest once to bumping into, except it ended up being her security people, is I was on the floor and they were trying to rush Eliza Dushku next to me.
Oh, that's right.
And I was... the crowds jostle on the floor. We were on the main floor, and you were next to me, I believe, but looking at your phone.
Yep.
And I kind of shifted and almost fell in between not fell on the floor, but just kind of, the shoulder jostle in between the security guards. But they're very good at kind of scurrying her along.
You just got jostled. Yes.
I just got jostled and,
And I think that was our first year at Comic-Con,
was, yeah.
and a friend had texted me in a sort of sarcastic way, did you see any famous people? And I was looking at that text when Eliza Dushku,
That's right,
who I admire very much as an actor, walked by. And then I looked up and you were like, hey,
Eliza Dushku!
And I was like, God damn it. Another big part of Comic-Con that I don't think you and I get super into is all of the exclusive toys. I love toys, and some of the exclusive ones are really cool. I just never am willing to commit the amount of time it takes to get them. But if you could get an exclusive thing from Comic-Con, what would you want? What kind of from what show or franchise, and what kind of thing would it be? It can be anything in the world.
It's I should have so many easy answers to that, and I don't have a great answer.
I think the basic question is just what you need to fulfill yourself. It's a question that partners should ask one another anyway on podcasts.
I would want somebody's shoes.
Somebody's shoes.
Like the design of shoes. Like, so like
maybe you meant to actually take them off people like, Stephen Amell, I want your shoes.
No, that'd be kind of gross. Like say maybe if they were making limited edition of one of Agent Carter's shoes. Or pairs of shoes. I would like 2 shoes, please. So that would be really fun.
Okay. Would you want an Agent Carter hat? A big red hat?
In theory, yes. Okay. I mean, I love that hat. I don't know that I would ever wear it, and I have in my life, and still do, own a lot of hats and don't know what to do with them because they just collect dust. So,
but shoes.
So in the world where we have an entire room for, museum level display, sure, a hat. Or if there's, I'm trying to think of somebody who has like a good, interesting pen. That would be something that would be kind of small but interesting, but I can't think of the right. This is a horrible example. Let's go with Agent Carter's shoes.
Okay, you don't want the grenade pen from GoldenEye.
No.
Understandable. I think shoes are great.
Yeah.
You are a very kinetic person. You have a background as a dancer, so some nice, elegant shoes.
And I'm also a shoe fanatic.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to curtail that at the moment, but in my heart and soul. Yep.
In your heart and soul, there are shoes.
I'm a shoe fanatic. Yep.
All right. You are well aware of my desire to see someone cosplaying Batman eating a taco.
I sure am.
But I'm trying to be open to other ideas. So what genre character would you like to see eating what?
I would want, my first automatic reaction would be, going a little old school, Sydney Bristow from Alias eating nachos.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Alias. I'm a big fan of Jennifer Garner, Sydney Bristow, and my thought was she works really hard. I'd like to see her relax and just kind of like chow down on some nachos. But at the same time, then thinking more about your obsession, which I'm aware of, and part of your obsession is not somebody cosplaying as Batman with their cowl down eating a taco, but with the cowl up. So if you think of somebody in full, like, full costume, full regalia, full whatever, I would like to see Falcon eating grapes.
The superhero character Falcon?
Yep, because it just seems kind of like he's swooping and like flying all over the place, and then he's eating these little ridiculous straight grapes. Like I like the comedy and ridiculousness of it. It's something like, I don't know, having Thor eat Chex Mix or something.
Yeah. Okay, Thor eating Chex Mix is pretty great. That might be
that might be the better one.
The best. But those are 3 great answers. Sydney Bristow, because she could use the nachos as like little throwing weapons, like throwing stars. She could take somebody out with a nacho. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're talking about a person cosplaying. So a person cosplaying Falcon eating grapes, very healthy, could easily say a funny badass line and then pop a little grape.
Yeah, like I would like to see, say we're still at Comic-Con, I would like to see Falcon with like wings spread, not flying necessarily, but maybe like doing a little spirally thing and just plop, eating a grape.
I would like to see a cosplayer capable of actual flight like Falcon,
yeah, that'd be awesome.
And then swoop down and just steal somebody's grapes, like an asshole.
That's right. Swoop through a vineyard, grab some grapes, and then back to...
Okay, walk me through the picture of... This is a person cosplaying.
This is a person cosplaying.
It's not Thor. It's not the actual Norse god.
Oh.
So, it's a person cosplaying. Mm-hmm. You are turning a corner around a booth and you're going toward the little dining area that they have in the main hall.
Yeah.
And you see somebody cosplaying Thor eating Chex. What emotions? Chex Mix. Mm-hmm. What emotions go through your head?
Wow. Oh, that's hilarious. I would want it to be eating out of a bowl rather than out of a bag, because that just seems like not quite elegant enough for Thor. Or out of a napkin, maybe. I don't know. Like that foil package just seems...
Yeah. It would be great if only the cosplayer could lift that bowl.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe the
Mjolnir of bowls
is like the top of the hammer. Maybe it's a specific hammer for food.
So he's eating Chex Mix.
That's maybe a bad idea.
Off his hammer.
Yeah, I take that back.
That's great. That's great. So this interview that we are doing right now, my wife, thank you for doing with me here in our home. This is I'm going to talk like a robot.
Okay.
This is the last part of the podcast that we're putting assembling all the interviews I did.
Okay.
And we normally end the podcast by asking, what is happiness? So I'm going to ask you, what is the San Diego Comic-Con version of happiness? What is the happiest thing that can happen at San Diego Comic-Con?
Watching Thor eat Chex Mix while Falcon swoops by, actually able to fly, and grabs a grape and swirls away.
That's a great answer. Thank you very much. That is our podcast.
You've been listening to Obsessed. Joseph Scrimshaw and his guest shared some stories with the rest. Rate 5 stars if you're impressed.
Hello, welcome to Taco Bell. Can I take your order?
I'm Batman. I want a taco. Damn it.